Hi friends, this is Lady Prepared coming back with week 2 of our Prepper Pantry Challenge, Food Storage Challenge. So I am really excited to be able to share this with you. Thank you for all the kind thoughts and suggestions that I've gotten from friends that live local and from some of you as well. So thank you, I appreciate that. Before I give week 2's item, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about maybe the heart reason why my family chooses to have a food storage. I know in the past video, week 1, we kind of talked about the logical reasons, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the heart reason. So when starting this channel, you know, there was 2 routes I could go. I could kind of play down the middle and play it safe to get subscribers, or I could be who I am and build a channel revolved around what we believe. And anyone who knows me knows the first one's probably not an option. First of all, I have too big a mouth. Second of all, our home is run on logic and thought and firm belief in Jesus Christ. And so, you know, we don't take things at face value just because someone says it. We consider ourselves probably conservative independents. Anything that we hear that interests us, we will look into multiple sources. We never take one source and say, well, I feel comfortable with that. We always look at multiple sources and then we come to our own conclusion. It's that way with just about everything. So with that said, that's where my heart reason is coming for and why we have food storage. I don't know if all of you have taken a look at what's going on in Europe right now. If you're not watching the news, multiple sources of news, I would. I absolutely would. Yesterday, many of you know something happened in the Oval Office, and if you know, you know. If you don't, please go research that. That is actually pretty critical. That incident is going to be a gathering cry for many people, many leaders in Europe right now, and I think that has the potential of being pretty significant. You know, in my many years of life, we've seen politicians come, we've seen them go. There's some that we absolutely love, there's some that we absolutely cannot stand. But at the end of the day, those politicians, regardless of whether we agree with them or not, they're not the ones that are going to come in and help our family, my family, in time of crisis. That's my job. That's my husband's job. That's our responsibility. And so we never want to be in a place where we have to be overly dependent on any government, any politician, because that dependence takes away from your self-sufficiency. If something happened, and again, we all know, regardless, it's not always political, if something happens, there's not always quick relief. And I want to make sure that we are in a position where we can help our family and our neighbors and our close friends. That gives us purpose for why we have a food storage, why we have a long-term food storage, why we have a short-term food storage, why we have a working pantry. When you start out on this journey, it may just be a deep feeling that you have that you may just want to put something back for the future. Or maybe you see a good deal and you're like, wow, you know, I was planning on buying 2, but my budget allows me to buy 6. Get the 6, because you always want to go with that internal feeling, right? And as long as you're rotating your food out, you're not going to come into any kind of situation where waste may happen. Because if you're doing your food storage correctly, you're not going to waste your food, right? It's when you're kind of sitting on your food storage and you're not rotating it out. That's when expiration dates or past expiration dates happen, or the food somehow gets compromised. So having a good working system is essential. Understanding your why is essential, be it political, be it in preservation for any upcoming event, be it nature, be it job loss. Whatever your why is, know it and stick to it. When you're having those internal feelings that you should be doing something, you should probably do it. If it's a good thing and it's not going to harm anybody, then we know that those promptings are coming from our Heavenly Father in the Spirit. If it's something that you're being prompted that's negative, well, you know who that's coming from, and you might want to avoid that one. But as for food storage, I think now is a pretty crucial time to get started in this. I wanted to do a challenge that revolved around about $5 a week, because that's not going to be able to help everyone, but that will help some people with a reasonable starting place. I think that together as a community, we can get some food put back for you. And again, if $5 is too much for you to start to put into your challenge, get one item. If you have to skip a week, and then get one item. Get a piece of paper, get a pencil, pen, write down these weekly challenges so you can go back to it. So that way, if you have to take a pause, that's okay, but come back to it when you can. I just feel like it's going to be important to make sure that we have just a little bit extra or a whole lot of extra, whatever your budget can give you, put back, because we really don't know what's going to happen coming in the future. And quite honestly, just having kept my eye on what's been going on in Europe for the past couple years and where it's heading to right now, I'm a little concerned. I'm a little concerned about that world stage. You know, I think a lot of people have high hopes for a change over the next couple years, particularly in food, right? But there's a lot of different players out there, and some of them I don't think exactly have our best interest at heart. I don't even think they have their own people's best interest at heart. So if I can't trust them in that regard, I'm certainly not going to trust them to care for my family. And I'm going to do what I can to make sure that we're set so we don't have to depend on that. I hope that makes sense. Okay. So with that said, I'm going to give week 2's challenge. Week 2, our challenge is going to be focusing on water. So if you live in an area that you have a Dollar Tree close to you, you can get this big and bad Mama Jamma 1 gallon of water for $1.25. Okay. If you do not have a Dollar Tree, if you have a phone, you have a computer, you can do some research as to where you can get a gallon water for the cheapest price. Sometimes the stores have these things go on sale for cheaper than $1.25. If you can find that, absolutely go for it. We are going to be having 4 gallons of water this week. 4 gallons of water. So you're going to be putting back 4 of these. That will be a total of $5 exactly. So the reason we want to focus on water this week is it's kind of the forgotten prepper item. I've talked with a lot of people that they have their Mountain House meals, or they have their freeze-dried or their dehydrated meals, but they forget that they're going to need water to use them. We need water every day. We can go with food for quite a bit before our body really is in trouble. We need to have our water. This is not something that we can just take for granted and forget about. Yes, beans, rice, all of that is very important, but how are you going to cook them if you don't have your water? Okay. there's different aspects of water too. This obviously would be for drinking water, but for toilets, for personal, like washing your face and your hands and whatnot, if you have the liters of soda, you can wash those out really good, let them dry. If it's sunny, I set it outside just to kind of bake in the sun a little bit. And then I fill those up and I put those in, I put a couple by the toilets so that way if we have a toilet issue, I have water for a few more flushes until we can get a different bathroom system going. But it's also personal water. It's nothing that I'm going to be ingesting, but boy, is that going to help with washing hands, our face, and we're able to use materials that we already have. We don't drink soda, but sometimes we get the big liters of sparkling water, so we use those to just refill those personal waters. And then once a year, I take those out, I empty them into the garden, I check to make sure that the quality of the container is still good. If it is, I fill it back up and I put it back where it's at. So that way, again, we're rotating out our waters. You want to make sure that you have a good amount of water. As I mentioned before, I adjusted the amount so we're really going to have 1 month of food at the end of this, but with the water, we're going to have a 2-week supply of that. Okay, so we're doing the full 2 weeks. We're not adjusting that at all. And this can be the complication with water is if you have a small place, where are you going to put it? Again, I know that is a real concern, but it's going to be even a bigger concern if you need the water and you don't have it. So I'm sorry to say that. I'm not trying to be insensitive because I get the space issue, but the water is absolutely essential. Okay. All right, my friends, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm so excited for you. Week 2 water. If you have not seen week 1, just pop back to the video, a couple videos before, and check that out. It's at the very end, so if you want to kind of scroll through and get to the item, that's totally fine. But I do hope that you stay around and you are feeling like you want to leave a comment or some feedback. I would love to hear that. We're growing a nice little community here, slowly but surely, and I am just so thankful for all of you. I hope that you all have a blessed day, and I hope that you have the ability to go out and bless other people's lives. Take good care, and I will be talking to you soon. Bye.